Investigators say the teens were part of a small outdoor gathering on Utah Drive on Saturday. Officers say the 17-year-old suspect fired shots from inside the car. One of those teens died at the scene. The other died hours later at the hospital. Remember, both just 14 years old.
9 people shot in 5 separate incidents in Denver and Aurora.
2 of the people shot died. One of those was a child.
The increase in gun violence continues to impact communities across the city. This morning, police are investigating a deadly shooting.
Morning, Kristen. This deadly shooting happened around 1:30 a.m. Police say here at the Eastchester Playground. Just take a look just behind me because you can see police are still on the scene here, continuing their investigation right next to the playground equipment. Now, video from early this morning showed police combing this area for evidence in the aftermath. Authorities say that 34-year-old Forrest Bird was shot in the torso and the arm. He was taken to Jacoby Hospital but did not survive.
Happening now, Raleigh police are investigating a pair of deadly shootings this weekend. Police say William Kinney was shot at the Hammond Road exit of I-40 early Saturday morning and later died.
People are gathering here tonight at this late hour to honor the life of Brock Snyder. His cousin, who lives here on Siegel Court, where he was actually shot and killed, tells me that he had been staying with her for about a month now. She had left the door unlocked for him like any other night that they were hanging out here on the block. But this time, he didn't make it home.
I started yelling, "Not my cousin, please, not my cousin."
Samantha Stevenson woke up in the middle of the night to flashing lights on her block. When police got to the scene of the shooting on Siegel early Saturday morning, they found 27-year-old Brock Snyder shot once and lying on the floor.
I was told that he was shot in the face. Come to find out, it had been a bullet wound to the head, and my cousin was murdered right across the street from his own home.
Snyder had a 4-year-old daughter and another child on the way. His girlfriend and family are just looking for answers.
This evening, Albuquerque police are investigating a homicide in northwest Albuquerque. They say officers responded to a call around 7 this morning where 2 men at this apartment complex on Cibola Loop, this is near Ellison and Coors Bypass,
We are following some breaking news this morning from Johnson County, Missouri. Warrensburg police are trying to find a shooter after 3 people were shot, leaving a teenager dead. Officers found the victims in the area of St. Charles and Grover Streets early this morning near the UCM campus. An 18-year-old girl was pronounced dead at that scene. A 17-year-old girl and a 20-year-old man were both taken to the hospital.
A person is in custody after a man was found dead this morning. Police tell us this was a domestic incident. It happened on Queensway. They got a call for a gunshot wound just before 10 this morning, and when they got there, they found a man dead from a gunshot wound.
A 7-year-old girl is dead tonight after being shot in Pensacola. The girl was found on the front porch, and several other children were on scene. Meantime, the family tells us Anaya was a good, smart kid.
Charlotte-Mecklenburg police are working to understand why another young man in our community has died by violence. 22-year-old Solomon Fleming is the victim of the city's 71st homicide of 2020.
The city's homicide count for this year continues to be a hot-button issue right now. Many are left wondering why people continue to be killed week after week. The 71 homicides also means 71 families are left with unspeakable pain and a road of grief that no one ever wants to take. Police say this should not be considered normal in the slightest.
Please don't. Let yourself, if you're at home watching this, become desensitized to the fact that another human being's life was lost on the streets of Charlotte.
A father was murdered at his son's funeral.
A man is dead after a shooting earlier today in the Portland neighborhood. It happened around 3:30 when officers were called to North 17th Street near Seven Angels Church of Truth. There, police found a man dead with a gunshot wound.
Deadly shooting in Goldsboro. Goldsboro police responded to a shooting Saturday afternoon in Winslow Circle near South John Street.
People living near Stafford and College Street sit on their front porches. On any other day, they'd be enjoying the outdoors, watching children play. But on Saturday, they watched as Memphis police go in and out this apartment where a man and woman were found shot to death.
Back at home, bullets start flying this afternoon in Lincoln Heights, leaving a neighborhood rattled and a man fighting for his life. One man was shot 10 times and rushed to the hospital. Officers responding to Dantzler Drive near Adams Street shortly after 5 this evening, where they found the man critically injured.
Let's get you down to an investigation into a shooting at a CVS in Bedford. This happened off Industrial Boulevard sometime around 6:15 tonight. Bedford police aren't releasing much information. All they will say is a 17-year-old female was found shot in the chest. She was taken to a nearby hospital where she was pronounced dead.
New tonight, a 34-year-old man is dead after being shot multiple times in North Philadelphia. The shooting happened around 6:30 in the 2000 block of North Marshall Street. Police say the man was shot twice in the chest, 4 times in the thigh. He was taken to Temple where he was pronounced dead a short time later.
Teen in the hospital at this hour after being shot in Phoenix.
The 7-year-old was playing as he usually does in front of his home.
29-year-old man from Buffalo
has died after a Saturday night shooting on Breckenridge Street. Police responded to the call just after 7:30 last night. The man was taken to ECMC, where he was declared dead.
And back here in St. Louis, it was yet another violent night. Authorities reported multiple shootings and one homicide overnight. Just after 7:40 Saturday evening, authorities responded to the intersection of Newcomb and Marcus for reports of a shooting. When they arrived, they found a female shot multiple times. She was transported to the hospital where she died. Look, we're only 2 days into August and there have already been 3 homicides, bringing the 2020 total to 156.
Sioux City police say a call came in just before 8:30 p.m. about a shooting.
Family friend Tammy Tillman Edwards was overcome with emotion, speaking about 22-year-old Desmond Joshua Jr., who was shot and killed Saturday while working at the Burger King drive-thru. It started Saturday night at this Burger King on East Colonial after a woman was upset about the drive-thru line taking too long. The arrest affidavit says the woman got a refund and left, but came back a few minutes later with a man driving a work truck with an SGL logo on it. They go on to say the driver, identified as Kelvis Rodriguez Tormes, demanded to fight Joshua Jr. A fight between the two broke out. The report states the suspect was heard saying, "You got 2 seconds before I shoot you." Joshua Jr. was shot and killed. Deputies say Rodriguez Tormes and the woman drove off to a house about 2 miles away on Ventana Lane. They were found and detained. The suspect is charged with murder, destruction of evidence, deputies say he hid the gun, and possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. The shooting leaving those who knew the victim with many questions.
Happening now, Raleigh police are investigating a pair of deadly shootings this weekend. Martin Penny was also shot last night on Beauty Avenue and passed away from his injuries.